I can tell you today that that's a war zone.
2 days after the Spokane fire sparked, we are getting a clearer picture of the damage left behind.
It was devastating. I was here and watched it all go.
Upwards of 700 structures gone. Officials say that number could grow as they work to assess the damage. Altogether, the fires have now burned more than 10,000 acres.
Devastation that is historical. The impact on people's lives is truly profound.
Meantime, the firefighting effort continues with new Level 3 evacuations in Stevens County. Tonight, the latest on the historic wildfires that have upended thousands of lives.
It could be a week, it could be weeks, depending on where your home and property is. And so we just are really asking people, be patient. Just because you see someone on a social media post that got to go back, you think, okay, they did. Please listen to these professionals and the work that they are doing to keep.
That was Spokane Mayor Lisa Brown earlier today, urging people to be safe when it comes time to go back to their homes. Well, good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us for KREM 2 News at 5 tonight. I'm Mark Hanrahan. We are continuing our coverage of the Spokane area fires tonight. We have learned that upwards of 700 structures, potentially as many as 1,100, have been destroyed or burned. On your screen right now, you can see the before and after images of neighborhoods devastated by the fires. Altogether, the 3 fires have burned more than 10,000 acres. Now let's take a closer look at each fire by the numbers. The Old Trails fire, which is burning on the northwest side of Spokane, has burned more than 3,600 acres so far. Cooler temperatures and higher humidity helped firefighters make significant gains on this fire today. Spokane County Fire District 9 says that fires stopped spreading at the west of 5 Mile Road and south of Strong Road. And fire officials say the weather on Sunday helped them make gains on the Fairview fire burning in Meade. Damage assessment crews have been ordered. That fire has burned just more than 1,000 acres as of now. And the Autumn Lane fire remained the most active fire overnight in the 9 Mile area. It is now the largest of the 3 fires at 5,600 acres. That fire made a significant push toward the Old Trails fire last night near Painted Rocks and reached the Rudder Parkway area. Emergency services are asking for people to stay off Rudder Parkway tonight. Let's take a look now at the latest evacuations as they are changing. Overnight, fire crews expanded the Level 3 Go Now evacuation area for the Autumn Lane fire, North River Bluff Lane and West Wild Rose Road, along with homes along Little Spokane River on the eastern edge of the fire on North Austin Road. Those were added too. Now let's take a look at the Stevens County side of the fire. You can see a large red area with those Go Now evacuations. Most of Suncrest is in an elevated Level 2 Be Ready evacuation level. Highway 291 and Swenson Road are closed. If you would like a more detailed look at these evacuations, we have links to these maps on our website. Just head to KREM.com. We have team coverage of the Spokane area fires tonight. KREM 2's Christian Garza is following the Old Trails fire tonight, where people are slowly coming back to where their homes used to be. And meteorologist Cody Proctor is in studio tonight. After 48 hours, families are slowly getting let back into the area where the Old Trails fire ripped through Spokane County. And for many families, they are realizing the harsh reality of there being nothing to come back to. KREM 2's Christian Garza is live now at one of the properties closest to where the fire started on Saturday. So, Christian, what are you seeing?
Yeah, Mark, well, piles and piles of burnt rubble are still smoldering tonight following the Old Trails fire. Now, the owner of this property right here off of Euclid Road, right next to where the fire started, tells me that there was about 3 different residences on this property. Now, those 5 people are having to find someplace else to call home while the cleanup begins.
It's so crazy, huh?
For hundreds across the inland Northwest, it's not a homecoming, it's the start of cleaning up the life they once knew.
It was minutes. It was probably 2 minutes.
Tira Atwood and her family. And so then for you guys, cheese, exactly. Now left digging through melted children's toys, charred tree limbs, and smoldering earth as they prepare their young boys, Apollo and Atlas, to say their final goodbye to the only home they've ever known.
This is the first time they've actually been here. The first thing he said was he didn't see the house, and he was like, "Where's the house?" And so that kind of really hurt, and it was really sad to hear.
However, their home was just one of 3 on Bobby Atwood's property.
Well, I knew what the devastation was going to be because I watched it all happen.
A property she worked to build for the last 6 years, surrounded by fire and burnt to the ground in 20 minutes before her very eyes.
So 2 fires basically converged right here. Boom, 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 and it's coming up the hill. Boom, boom, boom. So, I mean, we barely got out of here, up this area. It was really scary.
But not everyone in the family made it out.
I was really hoping that I would find the other 2 dogs and be okay, or one of the neighbors had them or something, but my son and his wife met me over here pretty much at the same time, and I recognized that it was the dogs right away, and that was pretty devastating.
Now with no savings, no homeowner's insurance, and no idea where to start over, the Atwood family has no other choice but to start back at square one. Despite the overwhelming amount of grief she feels for everything that was lost, Bobby says she's grateful that all her family was able to get to safety.
We're resourceful and we made it out with our lives, and that's the most important part.
The Atwoods plan to start cleaning up here soon, but as you can see, that's not going to be a small or easy task. In Spokane County, I'm Christian Garza, KREM 2 News.
All right, Christian, thank you. Let's get our first check of the forecast at 5 o'clock right now with meteorologist Cody Proctor. Cody, cooler today and much calmer conditions. I assume that's a good thing for firefighters.
Firefighters, as far as our fire growth from what I'm seeing right now, as far as our air quality, that's not really the case. And it's one reason why we have this weather impact alert, because we're keeping track of unhealthy to very unhealthy air quality for not only today, tomorrow, but potentially this could linger for a few more days after that. All of this, of course, coming from smoke from our regional fires. And you can see just how widespread these air quality alerts are around the Northwest, even expanding into Western Washington, throughout most of North Idaho, down into Oregon, Montana right there. It's just a lot to keep track of with this. Our air quality right now, as we take a look at this time, we have now moved back into the very unhealthy category. We're at 206 AQI right there. Could still see those very unhealthy conditions for tomorrow as well. And as we take a look at our region-wide conditions, you can see that we're seeing those air quality issues pretty much everywhere across the eastern Washington into central Washington, North Idaho. As for our smoke forecast, we're still keeping track of that for the next few days. Now, some folks may get some relief as we head into the next couple of days, as we start to get some more northerly winds, so some folks up in northeast Washington, North Idaho might get some relief. But again, we have a lot of fires throughout our region, so we're still expecting to feel those impacts not only from our fires, but other fires that are still burning throughout the Northwest right here. So keeping a close eye on that, and we'll see how that continues to develop for the next few days. You can see that smoke right here as you check in with our downtown camera. Our current temperature right now is at 76 degrees at the Spokane Airport. At least the winds are light at this time. I'll have more coming up in my full forecast later.
Spokane County is under a state of emergency for wildfires, and several county services and departments are impacted. County Superior District and city municipal courts are rescheduling criminal and civil trial dates to next week. A jury summons set for this week, those are canceled. If you've been called for jury duty, the county says you are now excused. In custody first appearances will proceed as normal. Meantime, voters impacted by the fires do have some options to participate in tomorrow's primary election. You can get a replacement ballot packet at the county elections office, or you can print a replacement from votewad.gov. You can return ballot packets through USPS. Make sure to request a hand cancellation to ensure a postmark of Election Day. However, perhaps your best option at this point is to drop off your packet at an official county drop box or the election office itself. Post offices in Meade, 9 Mile Falls, and Inchelium are suspending operations effective immediately. For Meade customers, mail will be available at the Colbert Post Office. Inchelium's mail will be at the Kettle Falls Post Office, and 9 Mile Falls will go to Liberty Lake Park Finance Station. Well, as you might imagine, families are anxious to see what is left of their homes as firefighters continue battling flames across Spokane. Alex McClune is live tonight with the latest damage estimate, the worst Spokane has ever seen. Alex?
Yeah, Mark, this is the hardest thing I've ever seen. 700 structures damaged, 67,000 evacuated before these 3 homes burned to the ground. A man next door who's watering his house says he got his family out 2 hours before the flames raced up this hill here. People are returning to the edge of these evacuation zones, grateful to see their homes still standing. Across the city, National Guard troops we see are trying to keep people out of these evacuation zones. The fires are still active and uncontained. Crews are going neighborhood to neighborhood and using satellites to bring the scope of this damage into focus. Officials believe a more thorough assessment could find about 1,100 damaged structures.
I've been to a lot of places around the world, not so good places around the world, and I can tell you today that that's a war zone.
We've lived here a long time and we've never seen anything to this magnitude. Firestorm in '91 was a monster.
We saw firefighters come through these homes earlier today. That's why officials are urging people to stay out of evacuation zones. We're actually somewhere where police were not blocking off. Mark, before I toss it back to you, I want to tell you I was at Mount Spokane High School earlier today. I met some firefighters there from as far as Florida, Alaska. These firefighters here in the city are sleeping, some of them who aren't in a hotel, sleeping in a gymnasium there, and even pitched tents on the ball fields. This is their lives for the coming days. Back to you.
Yeah, Alex, those firefighters certainly heroes. Alex McClune, thank you. Well, social media platforms lit up across the country as people captured the wildfires ripping through our community. Their stories and more coming up tonight.